And we are live.
All right, let's get started then. Thank you everyone for joining. The last, wait, are we August 1st today or are we, yeah, July 31st, the last session uh, of the Jitsi community call for July. Uh, let's do a quick turn around the table and see what updates you have. Um, Lubo, are you on the call?
Yes.
Would you like to talk a little bit about the progress on the mobile site in the past couple weeks?
Sorry to interrupt. Do you guys mind if I start the transcription as well?
Oh, I thought you already did.
Yeah. So I'm starting now, and that's gonna be the first demo of the feature that Nick has been working on. And as his GSOC project, you see the transcriber just joined the room, and yeah, you should see the results in the chat. Go ahead, guys.
So the last couple of weeks on the mobile side, we've mostly been working on making sure the mobile SDK is stable enough, and we fixed the different bugs and issues. Um, and we've got more work planned in this area for this week as well. Um, but in the meantime, we've also got work to merge on improving the avatars and the film strip on the mobile, and we expect this to land this week.
And to be clear,
For
by improving the avatars, we are talking about the bug where the behavior where they would flash and reload every time you show the film strip.
yes, and there are some improvements to the performance of the film strip in general, but they're because of React Native's different states of development on iOS and Android. There's some compromise that we had to make. Android is still lagging behind a bit, but we're just constrained by Android and React Native's implementation on Android. Um, so that's what we did.
Thank you. Uh, who else would like to do an update? So,
Uh,
go ahead.
yeah, I can go next.
Yes, George. Why don't you give us a summary of the H264 situation?
Yeah, so H264 support is in the bridge now. It's fixed actually because that was a regression. We broke it for adaptivity. This concerns multi-party calls because one-to-one calls don't go through the bridge anymore. At least for the cases where you can establish a direct connection or if you have a turn server set up. And then I'm almost done analyzing one-to-one calls where measuring different transport level characteristics like RTT, call establishment time, bitrate, stuff like that. And we see how much they degrade when they go through a server and how much they degrade when they're cross-region and things like that. So that's almost done. And basically, that's mostly what I've been doing during the past couple of weeks.
Thank you, George. Um, Boris, would you like to talk a little bit about progress on large conferences, or would you like to keep your right for the next time?
I'll have to wait until the next time because I really wanted to prepare something and I haven't yet.
Okay, that's fine. Uh, Aaron promised everyone a small spec on how a Swagger spec on how our conference mapping service works. He hasn't forgotten about this, but other things got in the way, and he'll probably publish it in time for the next call. Apologies for the delay on that. Uh, we've had a lot of other um, tweaks and changes around user interface. Lenny, would you like to talk a little bit about the situation of the film strip?
Sure. So Filmstrip reactification itself is on hold while I work on some Atlas Kit or HipChat related changes. For the most part, the Filmstrip thumbnails are in React. The next step would just be to combine them into one big React component instead of individual components as they are right now. That's really the update. I would say estimating maybe 75 to 80% complete.
This is really cool. Um, Brian has been doing some changes within the bridge itself. Brian, would you like to share some thoughts there? I know that your changes weren't or aren't going to make a lot of difference to users of the bridge, but is there anything you'd like to talk about there?
Yeah, hoping you guys can hear me all right. It's been just pretty basic so far, just some refactoring, really a lot of renaming and reorganization to kind of express a little more about what all the components, particularly the simulcast controller type stuff, is trying to do. So I've been getting immersed in that code, and I think slowly making my way through and getting more comfortable there. So I'm going to be doing more of that this week.
And and I'm sorry, I guess what I was aiming for is that this is still part of our undying effort to support simulcast with Firefox, which is proving a little bit too challenging. At this point, to be perfectly open and honest, um, we don't know whether we'll have the time to go all the way through. Uh, it's a cost versus benefit thing that is not particularly obvious, not an obvious decision. So we'll see where we get there. Uh, Brian, you also, uh, I think you didn't mention that on the last call, but you had a look at the. Did you talk about the Safari audio stuff and where we left it off on the last call? I don't remember.
And no, actually, yeah, I don't think I did. I did spend some time getting the Safari Tech Preview working natively with Jitsi, not through the Temesis plugin. And I bumped into an issue there around what I think is a bug with the way that media streams are handled when you create a new one and attach a track in their active state. So I posted a few things to Apple and Apple Developer and discussed those, didn't hear anything back, so I tabled that for now. And maybe I'll test it again to see if it gets fixed or something, but I can come back around to that sometime in the future.
Is that a forum where you could sort of plus one things like you can on the WebRTC tracker?
I didn't. So I tried it on the Apple radar, the Safari radar, and I think that's the wrong place. I didn't file a bug on WebKit, the bug tracker. That might be good, but I didn't because the Safari dev had actually filed a bug on us to support this, and I responded to him directly on there. So I thought, oh well, this will be the best way to get hold of him, but he hasn't responded to me at all there either.
He had
So
found a bug where? Sorry.
on Jitsi, he filed a bug on Jitsi to support Safari.
Okay, well, it might be a good idea to also file a bug for them then in that case, just to bump them on
Yeah,
this.
maybe I'll try one on because the one on the Apple radar,
Yeah,
it just gave me this really formulaic response about giving them a system dump.
right. Okay. Um, let's see. Damien, anything you'd like to share from the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I was mostly working on the Poacher Guy service. It's committed and in the code.
And by the way, for those who are interested, the Poltergeist service is what we call this um, ability to now reach out to people from within Meet. Obviously, this will have to depend on some other transfer that you have. In our case, that's HipChat, but if you have some other messaging tool that you're using together with Jitsi, that would be a good way to basically send an invitation. And while you're doing that and people are getting to the phone to the computer to answer the call, the Poltergeist service will send a temporary representation of the person in the room. And we have some more work left there. I think, Lenny, you were going to look in this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we still need to fix this issue where we don't have a proper display of the name for people without video in large view. We're also
Correct. Correct.
and we're also going to make the present status appear as well.
Yeah, the present status is in review right now.
Okay, thank you. Um, and I think this probably concludes the major topics. Does anyone want to add anything here?
Maybe about these options that I was
Oh
adding.
yes, thank you, Paolo. Could you please talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we basically added options that allow you, for example, to start with screen sharing, um, and also options to start with either audio or video muted. They are listed in the config.js on master. I think
And you've
that's
added
is
these
interesting.
options. You've added these options to people can use these options when they use the iframe API, right? And
Yes.
so again, this is part of our internal work and integration with HipChat. And anyone in a similar situation can make use of those same options. Um, thank you, Paolo. So if there's no one else, I think we can.
Yeah, actually, I think we should say a few words about this transcriber.
Let's do that.
Uh, Nick, do you
Or
want to
maybe the
introduce it?
OS on top, but I don't know if that's gonna be interesting.
Both, yes, both of those. Let's talk about both of those. Why don't you? I suppose the always on top one is going to be quicker. So, Crystal, why don't you talk about this?
Yeah, so I was working on the OS on top feature. I'm slowly committing some stuff there. There's still some work, but I suppose that it's gonna be implemented probably in the following days. Um, so that's most of it. Or should I explain about the OS on top? What exactly is the feature?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, the idea is at least for now, it's working only for our Electron application. Um, so it's going to work for our Electron application because it's not committed yet. But the idea is when you lose focus of the application, we are showing a small window with a video of the active speaker. Um, yeah, that's going to be always on top window. Um, and we are adding we are adding a toolbar with mute, audio mute, video mute for now. And actually, for now, that's all we have. Um, yeah, maybe in future we are gonna add some more features there, but so I think that's all.
All right, so about the transcription stuff you're seeing right now. So currently, we are using the Google Speech API to transcribe the audio. So we a Yigasi instance joins and it tries to send an audio. It's not very good right now, and one of the issues is that the Google API only allows chunks of allows a session of 1 minute. So it might be performing better if I fix that because currently we're just working. I'm just had a workaround where we just have a 1 minute session and then we just start another one, and it might behave better if I fix that. And there are some, yeah, we also had some problems with starting it, so there are some bugs which needs to be fixed. For progress, so we have this live transcription. It should also store currently locally a final transcription. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to work on trying to improve the session, and we're going to try to work on the user interface and being able to access the final transcription.
By the way, Nick, we're currently using separate sessions for every participant. Is that correct?
Yeah, so every participant has his own stream to the Google API.
So one interesting thing would be to see if we can think of any way to somehow share some context between these sessions as well.
Well, if someone is muted, or then there's it doesn't have a session anyway, or at least it doesn't even retrieve any audio if someone is muted. So I don't think, like, currently looking at the chat, everyone is muted, so there should only be maybe like one or two sessions going.
Uh, right, but when we do resume someone's session, uh, it is likely that they would be talking about the same things as everyone else on the call. So it would probably be beneficial um, if that session can share context from whatever was happening on the other sessions.
If we're going to fix the sessions where you just open a session and then you close the session immediately when it's done, there's not really any wiggle room to put another one in there, or put someone else's voice.
Isn't there? Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I was about to say, um, isn't there the possibility to load a dictionary on the Google API that we can initialize it with?
Yes, but that's just for when you initialize a session. So you can just every session you initialize, you use the same dictionary.
So it might be an advantage that we make new sessions every minute. Then we could update them with the
Yeah,
previous.
we could use the previous results and load them in, or at least
Well,
update the database.
I don't know about the advantage of doing it, but at least when we're starting a new session, we can use the transcription from the previous sessions in order to set the context. No? Is that something we could do?
I think there's a little bit of a confusion because I have this session which is just for the rule meeting, and there's these internal sessions with the Google API. And with the Google API, if we start a session, we have to keep them really short because that's how the Google API wants you to just have one sentence and then you open a new session. So we could
The
use
API itself is not equipped to do longer sessions.
no right now. If you stream the audio, so you just send 20 millisecond packets, it will only allow you to do so for a minute, and then it just stops it because it doesn't want to. It currently doesn't support anything longer than a minute.
Is that advertised as the default behavior, or is it something that could be a bug?
Currently, in the documentation, it says that they only support 1 minute, but they also say that these things might change any minute because it's still in beta.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, thank you for that update. Um, do we have anything else for this part of the call, or should we move to the mobile tutorial?
I was just wondering if this pretty cool transcriber thing would also pick up a non-English conversation.
Well, now we'll see.
Zal ik eens in het Nederlands gaan
Oh,
praten?
sorry, non-English conversation, or
Yeah,
probably
I'm
not.
trying a little bit of Dutch, and it really
Right now, it only supports English, and it tries to interpret everything as English. So if you take Dutch, it will produce results, but they're
Maybe
not.
try just
With an English accent. Like, ¿por qué no hablas español? Camel transcribe. There you go. It's
It doesn't understand Bulgarian, right?
Oh well.
Okay, so we can go back to discussion and open mic after we're done with the mobile part. But Boris, can you turn off the recording now and start a new one? And as soon as
Yes.
it starts, so can you do a 5-minute intro? We're going to keep questions